my UFC Fight Night Vancouver, DeRitter versus Allen full card predictions. We're going to be starting from bottom to top. So our early prelim opener is, Melissa Cruden versus Tainara Lisboa. I'm going to go with Melissa Cruden on this one. She's a Canadian girl making her debut. I'm going to say she gets past Tainara Lisboa in her debut, who has been out-grappled in the past by Luana Santos, and I'm pretty sure that's the only fight I've seen from her. And Cruden, I don't know much about her, so I can't say too much on this fight, but I'm going to say she gets the job done by decision with a few takedowns in there. Azamat Bakoyev versus Yusri Belgari. Now, I do know about this fight. Azamat Bakoyev, he's been making some noise in the UFC. He had a first-round win over Zachary Reese, ground and pound KO, some back of the head shots in there, and the referee slamming Reese's head on the canvas. That maybe had an effect, but he also beat Ryan Loder, the wrestler, and he couldn't take down Bakoyev, and Bakoyev just dealt with him on the feet. Another first-round win, and Yusri Belgari, he's making his debut. He was on the Contender Series. He's a training partner of Alex Pereira. He also fought Alex Pereira in kickboxing 3 times. Won once, lost twice. And he does have a lot of kickboxing experience, so it's tough to say that Bakoyev just goes in there and steamrolls Belgari on the feet. I doubt that happens. I'm gonna probably say Bakoyev has to grapple in this one, and yeah, this is a pretty tough debut for Belgari, I gotta be honest, but I think he can win, but I'm just gonna give the edge to Bakoyev based on the experience and he saw it in the UFC, so I think Belgari, he can be something, but this is a little too much too soon, in my opinion. Stephanie Luciano versus Ravena Oliveira. I'll go with Stephanie Luciano in this one. She lost her last fight versus Sam Hughes, which I honestly thought she could have won, but she did get out-grappled by Sam Hughes, but defended all of Talita Alencar's takedowns, and I bet she could get past Ravena Oliveira, who isn't quite on the level of Sam Hughes. She's not that kind of gatekeeper, but I'm going to say Luciano gets the job done by decision. Just better shots landed and more of them. Maybe she gets her own takedowns this fight. Kyle Prepolek and Drew Dober. I'm going to go with Drew Dober on this one. I'm not 100% certain because he has lost some in a row. He lost to Manuel Torres, who is a very dangerous opponent. Lost to him in the first round, which that's honestly not too bad of a look. Manuel Torres is pretty good. He also lost to Gene Silva. I don't think there's anything ashamed to be about that. There's no shame in losing to Gene Silva, who has lost to Diego Lopez recently, but it's Gene Silva still. And Kyle Prepolek, all I've seen from him recently is that fight with Benoit Saint Denis, which he did land some shots on BSD, but BSD pretty easily got his grappling off and submitted Prepolek with an arm triangle in round 2. So I'm going to go with Drew Dober to win this fight, probably by TKO, round 1 or 2. Let's move on to Danny Barlow versus Jordan Santos. I'll go with Danny Barlow on this one. He's moving up to middleweight from welterweight. I always like that skill gap because middleweight, it's not a very skillful division. I know Danny Barlow, not too skilled himself. Kind of just throws hooks. He got caught by Sam Patterson. He got caught by Sam Patterson, got put away by KO in that fight. But he was undefeated prior to that. He beat Veritanikov, which isn't the best, but he's fought the welterweights And then, who else did he fight? Josh Quinlan. Nothing impressive about that, but he TKO'd him. Jordan Santos, I mean, he lost to Ozzy Diaz, which honestly probably won that fight, but losing to Ozzy Diaz, I don't really like that, so I'll go with Danny Bravo on this one, probably by TKO. I don't know what round, but I'm going to say TKO. Bruno Silva versus Hyun-Sung Park. No breaks for Bruno Silva. And I don't think it's good for him. Like, I don't know what he did, but I don't know why they're keeping Bruno Silva so active after taking some punishment. Got TKO'd by Joshua Van, who is ranked number 1 at flyweight, so not too bad of a look. Got TKO'd by Manel Cap in round 3. Not too bad of a look as well, but yeah, Bruno Silva has fought very high levels of comp. I mean, so has Hyun-Sung Park. He last fought Tatsuro Taira. Took that fight on short notice. Got dropped early in the fight. In the first round, and then out-grappled for the rest of the round. And then he got submitted pretty early on in the second round by Tatsuro Taira as a face crank. So, I'm not sure, but Hyun-Sung Park hasn't really been taking the damage that Silva's been taking. I know, maybe he's not too damaged, but back-to-back TKO losses, I don't think it's good to make this quick of a turnaround. So I'm going to go with Hyun-Sung Park probably by decision with grappling, and he might have some success on the feet. Charles Jourdain versus Davy Grant. Now this is a pretty interesting one, but I'm going to go with Davy Grant on this one. It's hard to pick against him. It's very hard to pick against Davy Grant. Jourdain is a prospect, and he's the up-and-comer. Recently moved down to bantamweight, which was the right move. He was too small for featherweight, and got a guillotine over Victor Henry in his last fight, which honestly is pretty good. Another crafty vet, and Davy Grant, he last fought Damon Blackshear, and I didn't think he was going to win that fight, but he did. He dealt with Damon Blackshear, got out-grappled early, but rounds 2 and 3 schooled Blackshear, and he also schooled Ramon Taveras, which is a pretty good opponent. And I'm going with Davy Grant on this one by decision. I think another crafty vet performance is what this one's going to be. Kyle Nelson and Matt Frivola. Interesting one, and I don't really know who to pick. Kyle Nelson lost by TKO. Was it last year or this year? Yeah, lost by TKO against Steve Garcia, who is ranked. Not the worst loss. Matt Frivola, I remember he got KO'd by Fares Siam. That was his last fight, I believe. That was a pretty nasty KO as well. This is over Ziambo, who is pretty good. And who else? He lost to Benoit Saint Denis, which also, I wouldn't say there's much shame in that because Benoit is pretty good. And they were pretty bad KO losses, though, so I think I am going to go with Kyle Nelson here. Again, this one's more of a 50-50, but I'll go with Kyle Nelson. I think he's going to get it done by decision or TKO in the later rounds. Cody Gibson versus Ari Chaleng. This is kind of interesting. I'm leaning Cody Gibson because I don't know, he's not the best, but I think he can be pretty good at times. Or I think he can be difficult, He can grapple. He shouldn't have tried to grapple with Damon Blackshear. yeah, not what he should have tried to do in that one, but yeah, he got submitted by Kimura in round 2 or 3, but he was doing pretty good on the feet versus Blackshear, and Ari Chileng, he lost that fight with Raul Rosas Jr., pretty boring, classic Raul Rosas Jr. decision by grappling, and yeah, pretty boring fight, but he has alright stand-up, but I'll go with Cody Gibson to out-grapple Ari Chileng, probably to a decision. Now let's talk about Manon Fiorot versus Jasmine Jasudavicius. This is an interesting one, because Jasudavicius has been on a roll. I don't know her exact win streak, but she's put together a win streak. And Fiorot, she recently fought for the title with Shevchenko, lost that one. Very close, to be honest. Very close, 48-47. Could have gone her way, to be honest, but Shevchenko got it done. She did look good in that fight, though. It wasn't too action-packed, but she looked good. I'm probably going to go with Manon Fiorot because, Jasudavicius has been doing well, but she's beaten Jessica Andrade. Who else? Fatima Klein. She beat her. Who else? I'm trying to remember. Ariane De Silva, who I think got cut recently. So I'm going to go with Fiorot to win this one by decision. Just a little better on the feet. And Jasudavicius will probably look to grapple, but I don't really see that coming into effect much in this fight. So I'll go with Fiorot outstriking Jasudavicius to a decision, and Marlon Vera versus Ayman Zahabi. Marlon Vera can look good, but I think he's just too slow of a starter, and he kind of lets fights get away from him. So until he proves me that he has that hunger to really just go forward, push the pace, and really bring the fight, then I won't pick him to win. So I'll go with Ayman Zahabi on this one, probably by decision. I definitely don't see him putting away Marlon Vera by TKO or really taking him down, because Marlon Vera, he fought Davison Figueiredo, and he got taken down early on, but he was defending all the takedowns. He also got dropped by Figgy in round 3. It was a flash knockdown pretty much, but yeah. So Cheeto can be good, but he might win, but I'll go with Zahabi by decision. Can't guarantee it, Marlon Vera, he has a sneaky head kick. Maybe gets that. Now let's move on to the co-main event, though. Kevin Holland versus Mike Malott. I don't pick Kevin Holland much, but I'll do it this time. He did kind of let us down with the D-Rod performance. It was a good fight, but in round 3 could have gotten a finish, in my opinion, but almost got finished in rounds 1 and 2. He got dropped. But, yeah. Anyway, it was a good fight with D-Rod. I'm not sure if Mike Malott beats D-Rod, to be honest. But I'll go with Holland to win this fight. I think the jab, just think the straight punches and the reach of Holland will make the difference. Because Mike Malott, he can kind of get out. He can get outpointed at times, Trevin Giles, he was outpointing Mike Malott in round 1. But Malott was he was landing the bigger shots rounds 2 or 3, but I don't really see him schooling Kevin Holland like JDM did. And the takedowns, maybe get some takedowns, but I'm sure Holland can also defend a lot of them, so I'm going to go with Holland by decision on this one. Now let's move on to the main event, Reiner de Ridder versus Brendan Allen. So, Brendan Allen's from Canada now? I thought he was from Louisiana and trains in Denver, but I guess he's repping Canada now. But yeah, who am I picking? I'm going for Reiner de Ridder on this one. Brendan Allen, pretty well-rounded, good grappler, pretty good stand-up, good fundamentally. Doesn't really have the X factor on the feet, and the Ridder is kind of special on the feet with the knees. Really good knees to the body, and I could see that being a big problem because Brendan Allen won't be easy to get Reiner de Ridder down if he takes him down at all. Maybe de Ridder gets a takedown, and I honestly think that top control and back takes, I think de Ridder can honestly stay on top. He can take the back. I don't see anybody submitting each other, but I just think Reiner de Ridder, he probably has an edge in the grappling, a little bit stronger, I'd say. And on the feet, he kind of has that X factor. The knees to the body are very good. He has a nice jab. I was a little bit worried in the Robert Whittaker fight. I was just, in round 1, I was just thinking, wow, Whittaker's kind of schooling him. This is going to be an easy Robert Whittaker decision win, but de Ridder picked up the pace, and the knees to the body, and the clinch work, punches in the clinch, staying busy. He was getting takedowns on Whittaker. Nearly had a Darce, but couldn't get it, and yeah, I think it was pretty impressive. And the fight changed from round 1 and round 2. It looked completely different. It was very close versus Whittaker, but I'd say de Ridder won. I'd say it's pretty clear cut though. And Brendan Allen solid, but I'll go for Reiner de Ridder, just more special, I'd say. Yeah, I think that makes a difference. Just, he has something about him, which Brendan Allen, he's just all around pretty well-rounded, but I'll go for Reiner de Ridder by decision. So, those are my full card predictions. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.